Hotep brothers and sisters, Black Power. As always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. My sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers. My father, my in-laws, and all of my subscribers and followers, and those who are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Today, as you can see, it's bright and early in the morning. The sun has risen. For those who are fortunate enough to have been blessed to have their eyes open for another day of life, another day of struggle, another day of sacrifice, another day of pain, another day of joy, another day of comfort, another day of discomfort, another day of murder, another day of burial, funerals, weddings, and so on and so on. As I always talk about in my videos, that the sun is the premium element of the universe, which gives light and life to everything. And anything that cannot get along with the sun has no business in existence. And we all know what specimen, what creature cannot get along with the sun, which is the Ice Age. But nevertheless, I want to talk about in terms of the sun rising. Frankie Beverly made a song about it called The Golden Time of Day, in which people, when they're rising and being blessed, people of melanin that have been kissed by the sun, when we rise in the morning and the sun gives us that energy, that burst of energy, where you see the rat race, people going to work, people having their cup of coffee and their toast and their breakfast and being charged to go and deal with another day of struggle, specifically the black community. And so that's why our ancestors forbid people sleeping around all day long, because not because they're not working or because of laziness or anything like that. Basically, it's because they're missing out on that burst of energy when the sun rises to give us our divine instructions for that specific day. So just, all you have to do is just think about it. And also send Hotep and Black Power to Brother Bill Cosby. And I always mention him because just imagine or picture if it was your grandfather or great-grandfather or father at 81, going on 82 years old, just entering the penitentiary. And it's not like he's at one of those Club Med, which Bernie Madoff and all these other devils who have taken millions and billions of dollars from people and destroyed the lives of many. Now, as punishment, they get to play 9 holes of golf, racquetball, handball, look at a menu and order what they want for dinner in these luxurious prisons, which they call prisons. But Bill Cosby is in one of the worst prisons in the state of Pennsylvania. I believe it's McKean, the same prison that Wesley Snipes went to. So, and if you understand what took place as a prelude to the crucifixion and the execution of Bill Cosby, how they set it up, where they had Harvey Weinstein and Brett Kavanaugh, 2 other devils that were charged with recent rapes. And so what they did was have the three, Bill Cosby in the middle, Kavanaugh and Weinstein on the ends, and they made it appear to the public that all three of them were going to prison to make Cosby supporters feel comfortable and to make the people feel that justice is blind and all this bullshit. And what they did was, when they sent Bill Cosby to prison, then all of a sudden, the bitches, the slut bitches that were supposed to be the accusers of Weinstein and Kavanaugh, all of a sudden recanted their stories and withdrew all of their accusations. And so they're not going to prison, and Bill Cosby goes to prison. As a matter of fact, one of the devil detectives on the Brett Kavanaugh, on the Weinstein case, told the accuser to delete all her texts and messages off of her phone. And he's supposed to be suspended and all this. No, he's assigned to another case. Instead of him being fired and brought up on charges of perjury, he's just assigned to another case where he can go commit corruption on another case. And we buy into this shit all day long. You know, and I've been seeing a lot of cowards. I've been seeing a lot of cooning. I've been seeing a lot of bootlicking, butt licking, buck dancing, and bamboozling on social media within the last few weeks on the subject of race war. You know, and you just see the fear that a lot of our people have when it comes to standing up, fighting for black liberation and black salvation. You know, the purpose of a race war, in my book, is to fight for liberation and salvation and equality and the redistribution of the wealth. Not necessarily having to destroy and annihilate these motherfucking crackers, which they deserve to be annihilated. And if that happens, so be it. That's just an incentive. Even though we are so far unprepared for a race war, that white supremacy will wipe their asses with the black community. And we know that right now because we're too fat, we're too high, we're too trifling. Our youth, which is our military, and the gangs have no structure. They are programmed to annihilate one another. They refuse to even listen and accept who the real enemy is, and they know who the real enemy is. And so, you know, it's a lot of work that has to be done in the black community. But you have a lot of people in social media that are yelling for peace, yelling for, you know, just keep on struggling and dying. But see, those are the people who have a stake in the system. But what about the brothers and sisters in the black community who are struggling day to day just to survive and feed their children? What about the brothers that are just coming home from prison and can't find that is rejected every single day when they search for employment to be able to be the man of the house and feel like a real man and take care and provide for their families. Which this was set up 30 years ago with the felony. If you're convicted of a felony, you can't vote, you can't join the military, you can't be employed by the government, you can't purchase a firearm. See, these things have been in place because they knew that the prison industrial complex, which was created along with the military industrial complex in the Eisenhower administration. So that lets you know how deep this shit is. This has been pre-planned for the destruction of the black man. And so what they do now is the same way with slavery. They allow the woman, give her the benefits, give her the food, give her all the leftover scraps, as long as she does not allow the black man to reside in that home. And it's the same way today. You have these sisters saying that they don't need a man, and a brother has to have this, a brother has to have that. That there's nothing wrong with swirling and all this bullshit. And those are tools and instruments to destroy the nucleus of the black family. The black man is the most hated by way of jealousy than anyone else on the planet. He has the least of anything on the planet. And I'm talking about the average black man. I'm not talking about these superhero athletes and entertainers and these rappers who are paid to pump filth into the minds of our babies. They are paid to pump filth in the minds of our babies. Let me say this one more time for those who are looking to seek a career in this so-called gangster rap shit. They are paid by white so-called imposter Jew devils to pump filth in the minds and hearts of our babies. Lil Wayne, for example, who says he's never experienced racism. He's never experienced being a victim of racism. But he's been to jail. He's a full-blown junkie, drinking codeine all day long. He's a full-blown junkie. And when he decides that he wants to take a more positive route in terms of his lyrics, then they'll send him to jail. Which I hope that he does go to jail so he can meet Big Wayne. But nevertheless, this is what they do. These superhuman, these athletes that jump over the backboards in basketball, these athletes that run 4.0 40s, these super monkeys. And this is what the cracker thinks of these athletes. They're nothing but animals. They're monkeys. They can jump over basketball rims. They can outrun horses and all this. They look at them as animals. And it's the same way with the slave trade. They bid on certain niggas, have them on their auction block, and they bid on them. And then when they get any type of injuries, their value drops. He has a knee surgery, so we have to trade him for another slave because he's no longer able to run touchdowns and bring billions into our corporation. And so They use, the black fans. Black people are the most committed fans on the planet when it comes to sports. But it's hard for them to even get into any type of arena, any type of game, to even see a real live game. For example, in Washington, D.C., most of the diehard fans and season ticket holders don't live in Washington. They live in Virginia, in the outskirts of Maryland. And then the black people that live in the city that's been diehard fans all their life, 90% of them never have been into a game. Never been to a game. And this is, how this system is ran. There are no black owners, team owners in the NBA. All white so-called imposter Jews are all team owners. And so our people are so addicted to drama in sports and fucked up music. The average black person, the music that they listen to either is music that makes you want to kill somebody or have sex or get high. But if you go back into the 60s and the 70s and the early 80s, where music was music, where a lot of the artists talked about social issues, social dilemmas, problems that were plaguing the black community. They don't play those songs. As the songs that they play is a bitch, motherfucker, I'll kill every nigga in the house, I'll tie your mother up, I'll rape your daughter, I'm riding the block, I'm slinging crack, I'm slinging dope, I'm infecting and poisoning everybody I grew up with, and I'll kill everybody on the block. But it's never a song saying, when the police pull up on me, it's on. Never. Because what they do is transform your energy. Look at Ice-T and Ice Cube. Both of the Ices. Ice-T made Cop Killer. Now he plays a cop. So he's no longer Ice-T, because his Ice-T has become hot. Hot T. Ice Cube, Lethal Injection. And now he's a comedian that makes family movies. So Ice Cube has melted. And this is what they do. There's no more Public Enemies, and all of the conscious rappers are independent and underground. And they will never get any type of deal from any of the major labels. Never. Because you're not speaking the right type of lyrics. Your lyrics are geared towards being positive. And they don't want that. They need lyrics that people, the artists, are talking about fucking, getting high, and killing people that look like them. Think about it. And they win awards for that filth. Come up to the podium and say they like to thank God. Just think about it. Think about the TV shows that they put out now. Empire, Star. I think it's called Star. Have and Have-Nots. All these shows that depict and promote homosexuality, lesbianism, black on black murder, and self-hatred. And so we have to wonder, when will we decide who will stand up? Who will stand up and say enough is enough in the music industry? Boycott all the major corporations. The same way that the Cracker did when they boycotted Tupac and Warner Brothers. C. Delores Tucker and all the other coons and bed wenches who stood out there and protested and boycotted Tupac and Ice-T. But you don't hear them boycott Rick Ross, Young Jeezy, Lil Wayne. And these niggas, Boosie and all these niggas are nothing but paid slaves. They're house slaves. They're nothing but house slaves. And then you niggas kill me when you say that the white man's not responsible for the black on black crime in the black community. They are. They set the mindset and programmed the black community to hate one another. And that goes all the way back to slavery. When our ancestors were on the ships in this 5-month voyage, and they would feed one and miss 3 other people and feed someone else. Every third person would eat. And at that rate, by the time, after 4 or 5 months of that shit, by the time they got off the ships, they were hating one another. They were literally hating one another. And it was every man for himself. And so what they did, they continued to keep that mindset and that mentality fertile. And they kept it going, they kept it going, they kept it going, they kept it going, even in slavery. Certain slaves were on the porch. Certain slaves were in the master's house. And certain slaves, the majority of the slaves, were out in the field getting whipped. A lot of them took beatings because people that looked like them, the house slaves, told on the field slaves. So it literally became a war. For a field slave, he had to fight 2 people. He had to fight his own to get to the master. And it's the same way today. The same way today. Those who have been given crumbs and trinkets from the system of racism, white supremacy, those are the ones that you hear say that there's no racism. You know, like Charles Barkley, who I hate with a passion. He is one of the people on the planet that I truly hate. Anytime this nigga, this raccoon-eyed motherfucking pig, and this goes for him, his white bitch, and his entire family. Fuck all of them. He said he agreed with the Mike Brown decision and the Trayvon Martin decision. And what type of nigga, what planet do niggas like that come from? Steve Harvey said he doesn't give a damn about slavery, but cries, sheds tears for these goddamn devils. Snoop Dogg the same way. You know, fuck, ex-gangbanger ends up being a fucking host of a TV game show. You know, how does that shit happen? Come on. That's my sister-in-law going to work. But anyway, she's a strong person. But nevertheless, this is what This is what these people do. This is what these paid coons do. And so, like Snoop Dogg, who has to pay for his involvement in the murder of Tupac Shakur. And a lot of y'all know that he had heavy involvement in it, but because of his status with the cracker, y'all give him a pass. But let's look at this. He himself, who was involved in a couple of murders, never went to jail, was acquitted. Everyone else went to jail, except him. When they found out that he was a snitch, he fled to the No Limit camp and got up under Master P's nuts for protection. Now, an ex-gangbanger that's committed murders, walked on murders, participated in the murder of Tupac Shakur, and he's allowed to, he's the only nigga that I know that can smoke weed and use drugs any place, anytime, anywhere he wants to. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everyone else goes to jail for possession, with the exception of this motherfucker coon. He comes on, him and Martha Stewart, two motherfucking criminals. She's nothing but a criminal, her motherfucking self. But she got more heart than he does. At least she did go in the penitentiary. She has more heart than he does. They have a TV show together. He comes on the set high as a motherfucking kite. No one says anything. He's the host of The Joker's Wild. He comes on that show high every motherfucking day because he's a drug addict with a habit. And no one says anything to him. And he's another nigga that says he's tired of slavery. Slavery movies about slavery. You understand what I'm saying? I hope you're getting the picture. I hope you're getting the message of what these niggas do. They were paid to jump on Colin Kaepernick. Paid. These niggas, Ray Lewis and all these, and Michael Vick of all people, who's turned into a house nigga himself. Michael Vick. He should be in the last one because he went to, the cracker sent him to jail for dog fighting. And he has the nerve to say that Colin Kaepernick should be clean cut. But when he played for the Atlanta Falcons, he had, he had cornrows going down to his ass. And this is how the system of racism, white supremacy can twist these niggas' minds up if they give them some change, just some trinkets. Ray Lewis the same way. He's the same way. House niggas, Shaq. It's tons of these house niggas. Tiffany Haddish, who has no shame in drinking white semen, has no shame in drinking semen to get a movie deal. Kevin Hart, who took it in the ass. And I'm not talking about something I think. Literally. Mary J. Blige, she is a bed wench, holding Hillary Clinton's hand, singing about police terrorism, and the lyrics went some of the lyrics were stating, she was singing that black men should keep their hands down and be all docile and cooperative with these goddamn white terrorist pigs holding Hillary Clinton's hand. She is a heavy letdown. But I knew she couldn't have been but so conscious anyway because of the fact she wears that blonde hair. You know, that's a symbol of self-hatred as well. That's a clear symbol of self-hatred. You have a full blonde wig on or dye your hair blonde. Like you either an albino or a cracker. What is wrong with your natural color? What is wrong with you naturally? And Mary J. Blige, along with the rest of them, have Vivica Fox, whose head is ripped the fuck up. She has bald spots all over her head, like she has alopecia or something, based on the fact of wearing all that glue and all that cement and all that bullshit on her head. And if they wore their natural hair, most of them, their hair would be purely white, damn near. And they are ashamed of that. They are truly ashamed of that. You know. And so, I'm going to do a video later on. I'm going to be talking about some other issues, mainly pertaining to police terrorism. So, I'll be getting back with you all shortly. So, until then, brothers and sisters, Hotep, Black Power.